Hi everyone, we're live on a Thursday night at 8:15. It's GG Gaming Gone Mad sports betting preview, and we'll be looking at the games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all the fixtures that are going to be taking place. Plenty of sport to bet on. There's horse racing, Super Rugby, the Vancouver Sevens, English Premier League, and of course the third ODI between South Africa and Australia, with South Africa now having wrapped up the series. Welcome to all the guys. I know I've already been having a chat with some of you in the sort of, let's call it the live chat before the show even went live. And a big welcome to Gary Lentin, who's sitting somewhere in his car. Gary, I hope you're in a safe place there.
No, it is safe, Brent. How are you? Hello, everybody. How are you doing? As I say, it's safe. A homeless guy walks past with a piece of metal sticking out of his pants, but he's kept going. So, yeah, what happened is basically I went for dinner at 6 o'clock tonight, and I was sure that we'd be finished long before the show. And a few people have got a little bit festive. They're still inside the restaurant. I quickly ran out to do it from the car. Perhaps my tipping is a little bit better when I'm doing it from a vehicle than doing it from my apartment, Brent? But here I am in the middle of Sea Point. And maybe it's a good omen. There's a church next to me. Maybe we get a little bit of divine intervention with some of our tipping. But it's all good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Sean Nicholas reckons Gary's side hustle on the street corner. Times are tough.
He only knows half the truth, though.
Excellent. I see a lot of guys already joining us in the live chat on YouTube. We've also got a couple of guys coming in on Facebook as well. So look forward to talking about the sport. Of course, Gary, we're going to run through the Pick 7 competition that we're running when we do the Super Rugby. I'll bring that up on screen. We can go through all of those games. I have given the guys a bit of a heads up on the Good for the Game forum and the Good for the Game website, that they can have that. They can have it prepared, because it did require answers on all 7 games. And I must say, while obviously not easy to get, it's not impossible. I can tell you that. I could well see someone nailing 4 or 5 at any rate.
Well, that's what I thought about it, Brent. I thought, instead of running competition on each individual one, if you get 4 right anyway, you're gonna get a decent payout. There's no doubt about it. If you get 5, I think you'll be a lone ticket. Probably 6, you almost guaranteed to be by yourself. And a guy that does get 7 wins himself 50,000 in free bets. Just to be clear, they can use the free bets throughout the year. You know what I'm saying, Brent? They don't have to do it in one bet. They can just keep using the free bets until they've used it all up and everything. The only thing we haven't discussed, which is something we'll have to think about, and that is what happens. I don't expect people to bet 50,000 Rand if they win the 50,000 big prize, Brent. So should we say for the main prize, right?
Yes.
For 6 and 7 correct, you'll get 3 times what you bet. So in other words, if you bet 16 and a half, you'll get the 50,000. If you bet 4, you'll only get 12, right? So in the 2 weeks leading up, we'll times it by 3 for prizes 6 and 7, not for prizes 4 and 5, Brent?
No, that's fair enough. So the prizes 6 and 7, and let's just actually bring that. I'm going to bring it up, Gary, just so the guys can have a look. There's the prize split. All 7 correct is 50,000 in free bets. 6 out of 7 is 25, and then we go 5 out of 7, 15, and 4 out of 7, 10. So just a couple of key points. Obviously, in the event of a tie, the prizes will be split, and only one win level can be won. So in other words, if someone does get 7 correct, and another comes in with 6 correct, the guy with 7 is going to take the 50 grand vouchers, and if no one gets 7, then whoever gets 6 would take the 25. So we'll run through those fixtures. But yeah, I think that's fair, Gary, because there's probably, there are a few guys out there who will bet 50,000 in 2 weeks, but they're probably quite few and far between.
Well, it's not that. It's also you want to give the smaller guys a chance to get a decent win as well, Brent. What is the biggest prize that we've given away? It was 25,000 last season. Am I right?
In fact, it's the guy I've got up on screen there, Emil. He won it, if I remember correctly. He had to pick the first try score. I can't remember if it was in 2 games or 4 games, and he nailed it. 25,000.
Yeah. What I think Duncan McKenzie could have not. McKenzie was one of them, if I remember correctly.
Damien McKenzie, I think, was one. And Emil, I'm sure Emil will pop up with his. I'm sure those are fresh in his mind. I remember it was I think it was the November Internationals or something like that, where we were quite early on in the show, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so 25. So let's hope somebody can get 50 before the show's over. Not the show's over at all, but before the end of this rugby season at least, Brent. You know what I mean? I'm sure we'll give away a 7. I'll also, if we don't give away a 6 or a 7 over a few weeks, I'll start to make it a little bit easier, But like you said, this isn't as tough as you might think. Just break it down, game per game. That's what you do every week, guys, when you're having your bets. You know what I mean? Don't look at it as, I've got to get 7. Look at each bet, look at each game. put your prediction and let the cards fall and see how it does. And if you're lucky, you know what I mean, you walk away with a nice prize and let's see what happens, But don't start putting yourself under pressure that is too difficult. It isn't too difficult. It certainly can be done. That guy just shone his brass in my eyes. But, let's see what happens.
It's the cops. It's the cops cruising the streets there. They thought you were soliciting for business there, I think, Gary.
So, funny enough, the one person that's here does work for me at Shuffle Up, Anastasia. She's here as well. But the rest of the people are all Graham Eaton's here on a social thing. He brought his daughter for dinner. I brought my wife here. I don't know why, but yeah, no, it's been a very nice evening so far,
Excellent. Well, Emil Corp is confirming it was Ashton and DMAC were the two that he nailed in the England v New Zealand match. And yes, I think it was something like 25,000 rands worth of vouchers. So, Gary, what do you want to do? You want to chat a little bit cricket before we go into Super Rugby? Because South Africa have wrapped up the series 2-0 against Australia with one game to come. And that game, I think, is in Potch, eh?
Yeah, it is in Potch on Saturday, on the 7th, which is Saturday. Let's just go down to these two matches that South Africa won. And I have to be the first person to say that I was wrong. I thought South Africa would get totally outclassed. They've gone, and if you said to me South Africa are going to be 2-0 up, how would that happen? I would have said to you, well, the cock was in scintillating form and he got 2 big hundreds, right? But the fact of the matter is, the cock hasn't got a run yet, right?
Yes,
exactly.
The
cock just the first ball he faces from Stark, he just gets clean bowled, you know what I mean? I don't even know why he brings his bat out, why waste the energy? But they've gone and they're 2-0 up without a single contribution from the cock with the bat. You know what I'm saying, Brent? So, you know what I mean? Just give them credit. I don't know how they've done it. You go through man for man. You can't think of too many guys that would, you know what I mean, help the Australian side at all. And yet they've come out there and they've really, you know what I mean, set down the mark, and good luck to them. And I hope that they rub their nose in it and win 3-0 on Saturday. You know what I mean? Just brilliant. I mean, did you see it coming, Brent?
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, when we won the first one, I can't remember what price Australia were for the second one, but somewhere around 9 to 25 to 10. If I was at home, when I was working on that day, whatever, I would have lumped on, honestly. I would have been all over Australia. I didn't give us a chance, didn't see it coming at all. And yes, credit where credit is due. On the other hand, I think as South African fans, and that, let's not get excited. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. A couple of good performances by players. I always find with South Africans, a guy will make one duck and we talk about dropping him. But on the other hand, then he goes and makes 100. And now we're talking about him as the savior of South African cricket.
Exactly.
Take a sort of a back seat and see how things go there. But yeah, I suppose this being a dead rubber, potentially maybe the teams will experiment a little bit and give guys run. I guess from a South African point of view, though, pushing hard for the 3-0 victory, to really take some momentum out of this series will be important, Gary.
And the other thing is this: how much more can South Africa experiment? You know what I'm saying, Brett? Half the guys there you wouldn't have heard of 3 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Not as though they're playing, you know what I mean, Callis, Boucher, and Graham Smith. You know what I'm saying? Half those oaks, you know what I mean? If I'd said to you 6 weeks ago, you know what I mean, does Janeman Milan bat left or right hand, or is he a bowler? I got a sneaky feeling you would have had to go into Google to find out. You know what I'm saying, Brent?
No, that's it, exactly.
So, I mean, they have done a bit of experimenting. Hold on 1 second. This is brilliant. Thank you very much, my brother. Come get the bowl just now. Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm serving you from the restaurant.
Yeah. I haven't had my dessert yet. Hold on a second. No, I mean, what's the point in coming to a restaurant and not having dessert? And I brought 2 spoons. What did you think I was going to share it with? You. Hold on, let me close the window there. Oh, delicious. I don't ever come to this Greek restaurant. You have to finish off with the yogurt, nuts, and honey. World class, Brent?
Excellent. Well, if I'm down in Cape Town, we'll have to go there, Gary.
Definitely, you'll love it. You'll love it for sure. Sorry about that.
So, Gary, before we move on to the rugby, I've got 2 sports trivia questions here. I'm just interested to throw it out there and see how quickly the guys can get it. They're not tough, but I'll be interested to see the guys with good memories. Should we give maybe a 250 voucher for each? You happy with that?
I'm 100% happy. Let's go with it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna bring it up now, and you can munch away at the same time as I bring it up. So the first question, guys, it'll be a case of first correct answer gets it correct. I want to know, and I'm bringing it up there, who took the most wickets in the 1992 Cricket World Cup? Who took the most wickets? And I'll quickly pop on over to the comments. Neil's is saying, yeah, commitment to the cause, Gary. And I mean, I must say, yeah, very, very committed to come out of the restaurant there. So, guys, who took the most wickets in the 1992 Cricket World Cup? Gary, do you know the answer without saying it?
I would have a guess. I would have said it's the Pakistani. That would have been my guess.
Okay. Let's see what the boys say. There's just a bit of a delay while their comments come in. So, who is the most wickets in the 1992 Cricket World Cup? While they're coming in, those answers, I'm going to look to the next question, and it's going to be probably quite an obvious one because I'm now asking who scored the most runs, and I think this is a little bit trickier. Who scored the most runs in the 1992 Cricket World Cup? And Gary, you want to have hazard a go at which country they're from?
Again, I'll tell you who I would have said. I would have again gone for a Pakistani, but obviously not. Could it have been a New Zealander? Could it have been Mark Greatbatch? That didn't go far enough, I don't think, to get for Greatbatch to get it. I know he got a lot of runs and he did hell of a well there. Well, have I got the wrong World Cup now?
No, Greatbatch did get a lot of runs. He did get a lot of runs. He was in the top 10.
I would go. I'll tell you who. I would have gone Pakistani again, and I would have gone for. I mean, I know Inzulman got a lot of runs at World Cup as well. I would have said just because Pakistan won it. Am I right? That was the one Pakistan won.
They did win. They did win. Yes.
I would have gone for Inzulman and Wazam Akram would have been my two, and that's just because they won the tournament. Obviously they played the most game. They beat England in the final. Who could have got runs for England? No, there's nobody that really got that many runs. Alan Lamb was there. Botham was there. The bowlers, Chris Lure. I don't know. I mean, it's a long, long time ago, Brent. You know, it doesn't sound so long ago. You say 1992, but it was, you know what I mean, the best part of 28 years ago.
Yeah, no, you guys watching the show probably weren't even alive then.
You know, did Wacker Yunus go? I got a feeling Wacker Yunus was injured in that World Cup and didn't play. I could be so wrong, though.
Might be. Well, I can tell you we got some right answers. I'm not going to bring them all up. There's quite a few guys in the end who've got it right. But the first correct answer for the 250, I'm just scanning up to make sure I get the first guy. Because sometimes and the first one, in fact, he was the first guy to come out. He got it right. Nico Olivier with Wasim Akram. You're spot on there, Gary.
Oh, wow.
And then looking at the batsman, no, it wasn't a Pakistani batsman. You're right, the New Zealander scored a lot of runs. I'm going down here. We got Ian Botham. It wasn't him. And then we do have...
If you tell me what country you're from, I'll tell you who it was.
It was a New Zealander. They had 3 batsmen in the top 10.
It could have been Martin Crowe then.
Correct. And I'm just checking, but I'm pretty sure that Nathan Mallinson was the first to get Martin Crowe. So that's...
I got 1.5, right? And that that I didn't go on to Google. Am I right, Brent? Because no one could nuts and honey in front of me and a spoon in my mouth. I mean,
and you're talking... Yeah, you'd have to be hell of a talented to go on Google at the same time.
Yeah. And I'm balancing my iPad on my slightly oversized guts. You know what I'm saying? Resting against the steering wheel. I promise you now, I should get paid for this. That's the truth, you know?
That's a fact. Kevin Turner just confirming what you said, that Yunus was out injured. He got injured a couple of weeks before the World Cup. But anyway, that's the truth. So well done to Nathan, well done to Nico to getting that. I just thought we'd throw in something a little bit different there. But let's move on to the rugger now, Gary. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the games. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on your screen, but I'll pull it up here. And let's go through. And the guys can go through the answers one by one. We'll go through it. They can pin their answer one by one, and we'll go through. So bearing in mind, we obviously 7 out of 7 is the big prize here, Gary. And the first game, the Sunwolves up against the Brumbies. This is a home game for the Sunwolves, but it's not taking place in Japan due to the coronavirus. So in actual fact, it's kind of like a neutral game, really. And what we're looking for here, guys, is the winning team and margin within 6 points either side of the line. And Gary, the handicap's big on this. I think minus 28.5 Brumbies.
It's round about there, anything between 27 to 29. So, yeah, 28. Look, this is a tough one to start, but we have given 6 points either way, Brent? So, my guess is that more than one person will go through from the first round. I think that a few people will get this one right. I think 28 is, for me, it's a little bit high, that spread, Brent? I really believe it's a little bit high, you know what I'm saying? They play, like we said, they're playing somewhere in Sydney, but they're not playing at a ground where, you know what I mean, that the Brumbies would be familiar with either, you know what I'm saying? So, and I think the next game, the Waratahs play at the same field straight afterwards, Brent, like a couple of hours later, am I right?
It was it is. I think it is the Waratahs. It's not the Crusaders that play at the same field. No, it is, because they Christchurch, yeah. It's the Waratahs playing against the Chiefs. So it's going to be interesting. I see there's a bit of, I'm always one of these guys who watch the weather, Gary. Quite a bit of humidity around as well. And loads of answers coming through here so far. Brumbies in the 20s. We've got Shaun Nicholas, leg one. Brumbies to win by 36. Brumbies by 40. The nice thing about this comp now, guys, is you don't have to worry about being the same as someone because you're looking to go through seven legs. Jordan Flax. Jordan will certainly hopefully be talking to you about the Vancouver Sevens. Perhaps tomorrow night with Shaun Nicholas on a seven show.
Hopefully one. Can you just leave Shaun and Andrew alone? I mean, Jordan and Andrew alone. They sit and tip every single win in the sevens, and I do my money every week to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I must say their form is unbelievable, isn't it?
They're just studying in Spain. Let them do their schoolwork. What are you worried about sevens for? You know what I mean? Just now their parents will get upset with you. No, I'm only pulling your leg. I mean, they obviously welcome to do it. But yeah, so like I said, Brent, the spread is so wide here that a lot of people will go through here. But I'm just of the feeling that I know they've been horrendous the last couple of weeks, the Sunwolves. But for me, I think it's going to finish sort of early 20s, late teens. I could be wrong. I don't just see the Brumbies merging them. I don't know why.
Excellent. Well, we got a lot of. Just one of our this comments are going so quick. I'm bringing up the wrong one. But T Kawenga, who I've got a feeling could be based even in New Zealand, he says Wollongong is 1 hour south of Sydney. That's obviously in Australia. So I haven't even heard of this ground before that they played. So it's going to be quite interesting. But the boys are already whipping onto the second comp, Gary. So let's go through that. Crusaders up against the Reds. Total combined points within 5 points. Now, this is also very gettable. So, as you say, I'm expecting a few guys to go through from the first leg. And this is not, I mean, you need a bit of luck to go your way, but it's certainly not impossible total points.
I'll tell you what, Ben, I'm prepared to say that combined, I mean, I know this means nothing. Combined, I think that all seven will get somebody, not one person, maybe one person will do, but all seven will be correct. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The team will get all seven correct. But that would be an interesting exercise that we'll run next week on the show. But yeah, so total points, Crusaders versus Reds. Good game this, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Good. I'm not good game, but you know what I mean? A good, exciting competition we're running on it because, I mean, these people, Nico, they're obviously not giving the Reds a hell of a lot of points, right? I mean,
yes.
You got to think that the Crusaders are going to win this bar. What do you think, Brent? So should we say about 18 would be a good guess, right?
Yes. What is the handicap? About 23. I actually priced this game at minus 18.5. Right. Yeah, I would say that would be. So look, the Crusaders point line I think is around about 39. So you'd pretty much, and I think the handicap's about 23. So the Reds point line is only about 15. So I think total points is probably 52, 53 with the actual.
Exactly.
Spread. Yes.
Yeah. So 53, your thing there, not a bad one. Like I say, you got 5 points either way. So if you go 55, I think you'll be a big runner at 55 there, no doubt about it. You know. So yeah.
Just want to mention, so Nathan's come in because I did give the guys the option. He's come in with all the answers at once. I've got absolutely no issue with that, guys. In fact, it makes. I also don't mind you answering individually. Just from an admin point of view, Nathan, yeah, I've got no problem with that. So there's all of your answers because he's obviously had a chance to look through the questions. Look, I mean, we've got a couple of one-sided betting heats certainly in the first two games, and the Waratahs v Chiefs. Yeah, Gary, minus. I think you guys were minus 8.5, minus 9.5 Waratahs, and it looks to me as though the money's coming for the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, the Chiefs I think the Chiefs can easily beat that spread, Brent. I really do.
I agree with you, Gary. I'm over that. I took the minus 8. I've done the 3 previews for good for the game, and the Friday morning best bet, if I can call it that, is Chiefs on the handicap. We've also got some of our forum guys, including Southpaw, who's a real shrewdy as well, who's also on the Chiefs. And the general feeling there is the Chiefs are going to bounce back from that Brumbies defeat, and the Waratahs might start getting the depth of their squad tested. You know, they don't look to have a hell of a squad, and the Chiefs can take advantage.
I agree with you. I think this is bounce back. This is a classic bounce back coming now. I think the Waratahs is going to be on the wrong side of a heart.
Now, this is, I would say, now we look at the competition and the guys are starting to cut through. First try scorer. Now, this is a tough one. This is going to, if we do have 3 or 4 guys going through to this point, well, this is the one where there's a good chance it'll knock it down perhaps to 1. As you say, I expect someone to get it, but the question is, will that person have got the first 2 legs as well? And what we want to know here is who's going to score the first try.
Yeah.
And
this makes it tough.
Yeah, this makes it tough. Looking at some of the selections, Anton Leonard-Brown, and yeah, the thick flying in thick and fast. Yes, another one for Anton Leonard-Brown. Weber, good to see the Chiefs halfback combination there. Neil of Weber and Cruden. I think that that's gonna help them a lot as well. So we got a lot of comps coming in there. So Waratahs against Chiefs, that first try scorer. So that's going to be a toughie, and we'll see if the guys can come through that. I just need to nip onto the page now to bring up the other games, and we can go through. And let's go on to the Hurricanes v Blues.
Here we've got. The guys must say they enjoy this type of competition, because if they do, we'll just do it every single week. You know what I'm saying? And I think that can bring a bit more traction to the show as well. People think they can win 50 or 100,000 rand every week, as tough as it is, right? You know what I mean? It's worthwhile coming and watching. You know what I'm saying, Brent? And I mean, but the guys must say if they do enjoy it. I mean, we're doing it to give people a chance to win big money. But like we said, you can get 4 right and get it and still win some money. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And let us have your comments, guys, and feel free to send them to me on Twitter or on the show or whatever. Because ultimately we want to put the thing.
1 second, I saw somebody that knows me. Hey guys, how's it, Marge? I'm just doing a live YouTube stuff. How you guys doing? How you, Bluesy? Good. I'll see you later. How long in town for, Marge? Okay. How are you? Good luck. Okay, I will do. We'll see you later. Bye, big boy. Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry, that was brilliant, Gary. That was brilliant. But just going back to your point, I mean, ultimately we want to refine these competitions so that the guys enjoy them. Perhaps we'll bring them out earlier, whatever, so they have more time to give them thought. But the guys can let us know what they think of them. Certainly, we've had a nice turnout here for the competition, and we can refine them as we go along.
But these competitions are for the guys and not for you and me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And they've got their say, and they must say what they want to do and everything. So excellent. I hope they do enjoy it. And it also, I think it levels the playing fields a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. Who has I think that everybody here has got an equal chance. Whereas in some other competition, people's expertise like Henrik and that will always separate him from the others. He's a regular winner. You know what I'm saying? But on this, I think you'll see that the playing fields are a lot. I think the first person that wins 6 or 7 will be somebody a little less sort of knowledgeable or less well known than Henrik. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And now you'll probably come and get all 7 right this week.
No, Henrik, he'll pop up with all 7. Let's move on to the next comp then. I mean, the guys are going, they're obviously seen the writing as well, though. The guys hadn't seen it yet, and they're going for all of them. Hurricanes v Blues, time of first points within 3 minutes. This is also very, very gettable. I mean, it's very surprising if there isn't points in the first 10 minutes of a game like this, Gary.
Correct, exactly, Brent. So, I mean, this one I'm pretty sure that most people will go through. There are a couple of easy ones, you know what I'm saying? This is one of the easier ones. There's no doubt about it. Like you say, 7 or 8 minutes, maybe even less, maybe 6 minutes is probably the place to go, would be your safest bet. By the way, Oracle Marge says, Hannah, what are you doing on the weekend? She's looking to have a bra. But this one's one of the easier ones. The next 2 are pretty much easier. I mean, the Rebels Lions is also the easier one. But let's talk about the Hurricane Blues game, Brent, because I mean, what do you think?
So the Hurricanes Blues game, I mean, I must say, look, I was impressed with the Blues last week against the Stormers, Gary. I did not expect that. I did not see that coming. I thought the handicap was fairly well set, but if anything, lent a little bit towards the Stormers there. And I was impressed with the Blues, but they've had to travel back now. The Hurricanes haven't impressed me yet. They hammered the Sunwolves, but goodness me, the Sunwolves are a terrible team. So, I don't know. I think the Hurricanes, the Blues' record away against New Zealand sides is very poor. And ultimately, I think the Hurricanes are going to be too strong for them.
I remember saying to you last week on the show that I thought it would be the Stormers' biggest test, the Blues, Brent, and it didn't come totally out of the blue to me that I saw that the Blues won. Excuse the pun, you know what I'm saying? I gave them a big chance. I honestly did, and I tell you, I still think I'll give them a big chance again this week. Not to win, but I think they'll beat the spread. I think there's a lot of self-belief. I'll go back to the way they pulled it out of the fire against the Bulls 2 weeks ago. The Blues teams of old wouldn't have done that, Brent? You know what I mean? They would have shriveled up and gone away if they were behind with a couple of minutes to go. For some reason, there's a little bit more self-belief, and I just think the Blues can beat the spread quite easily on Saturday, and I'm expecting them to be within the spread, and I expect them to do that. I'm quite confident about that.
Okay, excellent. The Rebels against the Lions. Lions are disappointingly beaten by the Waratahs last week, and the Rebels bounced back to form. Who did they beat last week? It escapes me now. It was also New Zealand side. It was the Highlanders, I think, that
Yeah,
they
correct.
that they beat. So just this one, Oracle making the comment there just wants the rules of the yellow cards. This is because last week Oracle said no yellow card, and the yellow card came in the Sharks Reds game in the 88th minute. So Oracle was asking me if he was the closest because he said no yellow card, and I said you were, but ultimately no yellow card is a selection on its own.
It is
So
selection.
and this one, look, I don't think we said. I just want to read. I don't think we actually said the minutes here. We just said
No.
which team will get the first yellow
Half.
card and in which half. So if it's
Right.
in the 88th minute and you said the Rebels in the second half and they get the card in the 88th minute, then obviously you're correct in this case.
Correct. So all you got to do is get the half, and if you say no yellow card, you don't have to give the half because it automatically goes that it would be the second half would qualify for that. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, another game that not really one that gets me all that excited. I mean, anything that the Lions play, unfortunately for me, turns into an error-ridden game of rugby without much happening, and it's just nothing that There's nothing that I get too excited about. It's not even a game that I'll watch it out the corner of my eye without paying too much attention to it. But again, I expected the Lions to get a harding last week. I expect them to get a harding again this week. To me, they just show nothing, Brent? You know what I mean? And I don't know how they turn it around. I don't know how they turn this season into anything remotely close to what they produced in the last few years. This is going back to the Lions of 2000 and whatever, when they were just useless. But they have lost. You don't have to. The answer is quite clear. You know what I mean? If you go with who they've lost, never mind the players, Ackerman, the coach, Marks. I can go through a list. They must have lost 10 Springboks in the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying, Brent? If that happened to anybody, you'd be depleted and everything. But why can't the Lions hold on to their Springboks?
Yeah, it's true. But talk of a few of them. You also start hearing a few of these guys go over, and then there's talk of them coming back. But I think that's fair enough. I think the Lions have lost a lot. I mean, I did see someone make a comment the other day that a lot of teams have lost players, but the Lions have really lost some key players. And you don't recover from that. You don't just recover from that overnight.
No, I mean, you just have to think Marks, Creel, Pfaff, Mostert. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Whiteley. I'll name you a dozen Springboks that have left there. You know what I'm saying, Brenton? Nobody, nobody can withstand that type of exodus. But they have to find a way to hold on to their Springboks. Otherwise, they're just not going to be a force. And I'm a big, to me, Johannesburg is still a huge city, and the Lions should have a rugby side. They shouldn't be as bad as they are.
No, that's it. I must say, up here in Joburg, Hot 91 have got involved now as sponsors, and I see they're definitely making some big efforts to get the crowds back, and that. So hopefully things will come right. But I don't see much happening for them this season, Gary. I'm with you there. I think perhaps in the future. I just want to make a comment here. Ruan Fourie, what he's done is he's given all the individual answers as we've gone, but he's also now just summarized his in one shot. So guys, if you can do that, it would be much appreciated. Obviously, if you don't have a chance, that's fine. But if you can summarize all 7 of your selections, it's just going to make the admin of the competition one hell of a lot easier and a less chance of actually missing something. So, Ruan, I think that's perfect what you've done there.
Let's just do this, Brett. Let's just say, if anybody gets it right, whatever their prize is, whoever the winners are, if they put it in the format that is coming through now from Ruan and from Grant, right, we'll give them an extra R1,000 in real money that they don't even have to bet. You know what I'm saying?
Brilliant.
You know what I'm saying? So there is some incentive, R1,000 cash that will put in your account that you can withdraw or do anything that you want with. You know what I'm saying?
Excellent. No, I agree. That's great, Gary. Nathan saying trying to get mates to go to Ellis Park with him is like drawing blood from a stone. That's probably the guys would rather watch the other games on TV, I guess, at the moment.
No. But I mean, that's it. I mean, I had breakfast yesterday with the CEO of the Stormers, a tremendous guy, Daryl, and we're talking about numbers and the people that they get to all the stadiums and why they're losing people. I mean, Province and Stormers are apparently the most popular by a long way, much more so than anywhere else put together. And they average about in the Super Rugby game 19,000, which is a hell of a lot, Brent. That is, I mean, the truth be told, if you went to Ellis Park and the surrounding areas, you couldn't get 19,000 people on a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? People are too scared to even go near there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And the Lions keep producing this type of rugby. I'll be honest with you. If you went there and you said free beer, no entry fee, and a free cook sister. I don't think you could fill out Ellis Park when the Lions play. I'll be honest with you. You could even throw in a free massage, Brent. You couldn't. That's the truth, right?
No, it's true. It's true. There's a lot of things going against it as well. I just see Sean Nicholas says he put his selections on twice, so that's 2,000 for him. Nice try there, Sean. And let's go through the other games then. Gary, you got the Sharks against the Haggaris. Here we go on total shirt numbers, and I've obviously just explained it there. We'll use the official spread result, and you've got to be within 5. So here we're looking at the match shirt numbers between the two sides, and I can imagine we'll get a big range from the guys here because
the next two aren't so easy, Brent.
Yeah, these two are tough. And I think at the end of the day, if I look at it, especially the Sharks game, because the Sharks games in Durban can really be low scoring. I mean, you could have a shirt numbers here of 27, 28, but on the other hand, it could blow out. So this is a tough one. It's going to be interesting to see what some of the guys are going for there.
What's going to happen here? The Jaguars are similar to the Sharks, exactly like you said. They can play tight, very tight, unattractive rugby, and then they can come and throw it around a little bit like they did last weekend. This can really go anything from sort of like early 20s to sort of mid-50s realistically, Brent. This is a very tough one, you know what I mean? We made it tough to finish up. The person that wins the 50 grand, if somebody does, is going to have to work for their money,
That's for sure. Neil's just coming on with his selections, and I just want to point out, Neil writes the blog for you guys, Gary. He's been on some pretty good form lately from what I've seen.
Yeah. No, he's okay. He's doing nice, He's doing nice. I mean, people, and that's the beauty of this competition. They can look at, if somebody's not 100% certain, for argument's sake, then the last one that we do, you know what I mean, the Bulls Highlanders total kicking meters, if somebody's not 100% comfortable or they don't understand that work, you get the opportunity by going into the chat and seeing what other experts have done, Brent? And you can use that as a yardstick. I mean, they don't have to listen to you and me. I mean, we do try to give our best advice, but there are also other people that are putting their stuff on the chat. Go have a look at it. You don't have to have your answers in right now. You know what I'm saying, Brent? And give us some thought. When are we going to close off? We have to close off tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, Brent?
Yes, look, we can. I was going to say that it would, for the live viewers only, but we can say to anyone who watches the show afterwards, they can post below on the YouTube or the Facebook video. They can post it below the video as well, and we'll check that. But I think that what time did you suggest there before? I think there's an early kickoff tomorrow. Hey, Gary, with the Sunwolves game.
6 o'clock. I think it's 6 o'clock in the morning.
5:45. So let's say the last entry we'll accept is 5:30 tomorrow morning. And it must be, if you haven't entered yet in the live chat, you must post it in the format. There we want all 7 together. Post it in the format either below the YouTube video in the comment section, or if you're watching this on the Facebook, below the Facebook video in the comment section, and then we'll take that. But we would close that off at 5:30.
What we'll do next week, Brent, is another idea. Let the guys think about it and get back to us with this. Is let them enter any time, right? But they can, because remember, Sonny, if you miss the first leg, right, you can still enter for the next 6. Obviously, you can't win the 7 out of 7, Brent, and you can't have more than one entry. But let's say, you know what I mean, we've got a regular that happens to just miss the cutoff because he's on a plane or something. You can still get involved for the last 5 games or 4 games on Saturday. See if you can get 4 right. It costs nothing. But you can't do a 6 if you miss the first leg on the 7s, right? You get one opportunity to do it, but you can do it at any stage and qualify just for the remaining legs.
Okay, great. Yeah, we can do so. We can
do that from next week, Sunday.
Yeah,
we'll refine it over the next 7 days.
Yeah, we'll refine it and see how this goes. I'm going to be very interested to follow it, and it's going to be exciting to see if anyone gets.
You're going to have an entry, Brent?
Yes, I think I'll enter as well. Definitely, I'll have a look at it and put an entry in as well, and maybe have a go at it yourself, there, Gary.
I might do that. I'll certainly write it down. I may not embarrass myself and put it in, but I'm definitely going to have a go and see how it would have gone. I'll tip myself to get 3. That would be
Okay, that's brilliant. So obviously we'll let the guys enter live. They can enter down below as well. And Peter's coming in with his entry. Ruan says that's great news because he can only watch the show every second week. So it means he can also enter on the weeks where he's unable to watch the show live, which is good. And just to go on to the last game, Bulls against Highlanders. Here we got total kicking meters. This is a tough one, but we've had a winner. I think only the 1 week we didn't have a winner of our kicking meters. So in other words, generally speaking, like what you said at the start, Gary, someone will get this. It's just a question of how many of the previous legs they got.
Exactly.
And we got What did I say? Within 10, yeah. And this is the total combined kicking meters. Now, if I remember correctly, last week's game we did it, the Bulls against the Jags, and I know someone got it, and it was about 280 odd, just to give you guys an indication. I think the Bulls was 163 and the Jags was 126 or something like that. It was thereabouts by the 300. Now, see, Oracle has come in here at 333 kicking meters on that one. So that's the competitions on the Super Rugby, Gary. Anything else to add on Super Rugby before we wrap up the weekend sport, and any bets from yourself?
No, I think that's all good. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think the Lions will get another harding. There's some really interesting games. You know what I mean? How do the Sharks, you know what I mean, react to a long trip there, coming back here against the Jaguar side that bounced back really well last week? There's some really interesting games. You know what I'm saying, Brent? And yeah, there are a few games that have got me interested, and I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, there's a dead rubber cricket on Saturday. That won't take anything away from it. Believe me, the Australians don't want to lose 3-0. It'll be an exciting cricket match. There's English Premier League. I think last week, if I'm right, I said that Bournemouth will definitely get something out of the game with Chelsea. I said, you know what I mean? Bournemouth and the draw, if I remember correctly, Brent, and Bournemouth came from 1-0 down to be 2-1 up. And I'll talk about the horses next week. I'll get you a video. They are desperately waiting for us to get in all our paperwork, which we'll do this week.
Yes, sorry, everybody has actually put it in now except myself. So, Gary, I'll get that to you over the weekend.
We'll do that on the Monday. That's fine.
I'll have it to you by the Monday. That's believe it or not, well, I guess you will believe it. Admin is not my strong point, but we've got everyone, so I'm going to send that through to you guys. I've got everyone else's. We just need mine, and then you've got to obviously do yours. And then we can get that in and get all the paperwork sorted out next week.
And then just I'm going to give my soccer thing. I think Brighton plays Spurs this weekend. Spurs again. I'm going to go for let's beat the favourites. We'll beat Spurs again. You know what I'm saying? I have got a few thoughts on Classic Saturday. I think, to be honest with you, I've just briefly looked at the cards. Kevin, looks like a tough card for me, and I think it's one of those days where, as a punter, I would suggest a lot of caution. A lot of the horses look a little bit short for me in the betting. I mean, obviously, you know what I mean, take a bit of tote, have one or two speculative bets, but I don't think it's a day to really go get involved. I'm not sure if you got anything that you like strong. If you have, quickly put it up before we wrap up. And yeah, that's the story. I mean, I'm looking forward to another great weekend of sport. I do it before I pull off. I'm going to have to take them back their bowl. I did justice to the yogurt, honey, and nuts. I'll be honest with you. They're lucky they brought. I mean, I destroyed that. You know what I'm saying? No, I got a fright when Cruz knocked on my window. I thought he was coming for some of my desserts. I ate particularly quickly. But yeah, I'll take it back inside there. And yeah, it's been a really good show. And I'm happy that I made the effort to come outside. And next week it'll be more professional, and I'll do it from my apartment again, guys. Yeah,
I must say one thing about the show, Gary. The connection's been superb. Maybe this is your new office.
Maybe I just come work outside you. I mean, exactly. I come sit outside you next week. I'll tell you something. The art candy is not bad, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's been very, very strong. It's a nice corner to be at in Cape Town. I got Jerry's across the road, their famous burger place. And then I've been eating at Mykonos Greek restaurant. It's been really good. I'm going to go back inside there now, have a quick espresso and head on home. And Brent, we'll talk on the weekend.
Excellent.
I agree with you. I agree. Marigold there's definitely value there, and I think the favourite's far too short. So let's see. I'll certainly follow your stuff there, Kevin. Yeah, we'll wrap it up next week. And Brent, thank you, guys. There's a lot of work this competition, and guys, put in your advice, and you know what I mean. We'll tweak it every single week, and we'll make sure it's great by the end of the season.
Excellent, Gary Lentin. Thanks very much. Really appreciate you coming out to the course to join us, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too. Thanks, guys. Have a great punting weekend, everybody. Take care.
Excellent. That was Gary Lentin live from his car in Cape Town. What an entertainer he is. Can you believe people actually seen him that know him there? That was really great. Guys, the handicap rugby chat that matters, that's coming up in about 4 or 5 minutes' time. So do join. We've got Oracle Rugby on. Oracle, I paid you 500 Rand today that you took off me last week. And we've also got the conductor. We'll be talking Super Rugby, and we'll also be looking at the Six Nations. Thanks, everyone, for watching. It's a great show. Give us your input on these competitions. We want to refine them. We want to make them. Obviously, it's not going to be ridiculous. We can't be giving away free money, so to speak. We've got to make it a bit of a challenge. But at the same time, it must be something that the guys want to go for. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you next week.